All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Michael Music. I'm 23. I live outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I want to continue the conversation on faith and especially in the framework that is given in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So, the title of this video is that faith is a state of mind which may be induced by auto suggestion. Okay. So, just taking a second to break down that title, I want you to understand that, I'm not talking about religion here. I'm talking about developing a state of mind that you actually believe you are going to achieve what it is that you are going for, right? I don't care what it is that you want, right? I don't care, you know, I'm not saying I don't care about it. I'm saying like it doesn't have to be what I want, right? I'm asking you to figure out what it is that you want, become definite about it, and my only goal is to help you in this episode, develop the right amount of faith and belief so that you can actually start taking the steps needed to go get it. Okay? So faith is a state of mind which may be induced by autosuggestion. Now, what does that title tell you, right? We're going to talk about the fact that you may not have faith right now, you may not believe right now, and that's okay, right? The purpose of this chapter is to teach you that you can develop faith. You can believe simply by using the principle of autosuggestion. That is so critical, okay? And there's going to be a whole chapter coming up on auto suggestion, but just understand, like, all you got to know right now is that you can develop faith through the principles described in Think and Grow Rich. That's pretty critical stuff to understand, okay? So, Napoleon Hill talks about, all the priests, religious pastors, etc. They tell you that you got to have faith, right? Every good book that you read is going to tell you that you got to believe. But what they fail to tell you is how to develop faith, right? How do I, as a 23-year-old kid that just graduated school, how do I develop faith that I can start a multi-million dollar business, right? How do I develop the faith that I can actually achieve what I wrote down on my goal card and truly believe it, not just like in my words and what I'm saying on this camera, but truly believe it in my actions, right? How can I develop faith, right? So Napoleon Hill says that they fail to state that faith is a state of mind and that it may be induced by self-suggestion. So we're going to get into and break down, what is he talking about when he's saying self-suggestion and cultivating the state of mind known as faith. Okay? So let's keep going down. Okay. Now this is an important paragraph for you to understand. All right. Napoleon Hill says in his own words that it is a well-known fact that one comes finally to believe whatever one repeats to oneself. And here's the kicker. It doesn't matter whether that's true or false, right? You will believe whatever it is that you repeat to yourself, whether that is a lie or whether that is true. Okay? So, a lot of people, you know, are believing because they have negative self-talk, right? They're constantly doubting themselves because they're constantly repeating thoughts that are having them believe that they aren't good enough. And the funny thing is, most people will probably agree with that statement, but the truth is that isn't even true, right? There's a book called Outwitting the Devil, and you'll understand, reading that book, that a lot of your thoughts may not even be your own. So you're going to come to believe whatever you constantly repeat to yourself. Now, what is the goal here, right? Can we change it from constantly repeating thoughts of fear and doubt to repeating thoughts of faith, thoughts of my goal, to the point where I get it just so planted into my subconscious mind, right? You may not figure this out right here from this video, but it's through constant spaced repetition of the idea that's going to really start to change your belief, right? When I first read Think and Grow Rich, I didn't even believe anything that it said. It didn't make any sense to me, and I put down the book, and I was so mad because I was like, well, this book did not help me in any way get rich, right? It was a great read. I loved everything it said, but I did not get rich. And then I constantly repeat it. A lot of the creeds that were in this book. And next thing you know, I started to believe it. Right? That's the key right there. Right? It's constant repetition of whatever you repeat to yourself, whether it's true or false. Right? Even if you are in a situation like me where you may have just, you're young, right? You don't have anything to really show for, right? Can you constantly repeat to yourself what it is that you want on a day-to-day basis, every day, writing down your goals to the point where you actually start believing them. And then what happens when you do believe them, right? Burning desire backed by faith, right? You can do essentially, when it comes to this book, you can really do a lot with those two principles alone. So he says that each of us is what we are because of the dominating thoughts which we permit to occupy our mind, right? Whatever is like, there's the saying, right? You become what you think about. All the great leaders of history, all the great thinkers, they disagreed on so many different things, but they all agreed on this one point, and it is that we become what we think about. Right? What are you thinking about most? Right? What can you be thinking about most? What would happen if you actually thought about getting rich all the time? What would happen if you constantly thought about your goal and developing plans to actually achieve it? Right? What would happen to you then? Right? You would literally become that person that has posture, that is rich, simply because it just is your dominating thoughts. Right? A lot of people, when they start this journey, right, most of the dominating thoughts are negative, and truthfully, probably so are mine as well. But all I know is just keep repeating it, and next thing you know, I personally, I'm at a point where it's like subconscious. Oh my god, I'm gonna get rich, right? I'll literally probably will say that in my sleep sometimes. Now, it can it improve? Yeah. But it's I'm telling you, just start right now. It's not going to happen over time. Just start repeating the thoughts, right? Faith is a state of mind which can be induced by auto suggestion. Okay? Now, a lot of people will be like, okay, that sounds good. They'll even do it, and it may not work, right? Wallace C. Waddles, in his book The Science of Getting Rich, said it's not about doing certain things, it's about doing things in a certain way. Right? You probably were in the same boat. Maybe you're in that category of people that kept repeating it, and nothing happened. Right? It's because of the way you are repeating it. We're going to get to a section right now where Napoleon Hill says, thoughts which are so let me just read this paragraph and then I'll explain it. Right? Napoleon Hill says that thoughts which are mixed with any of the feelings of emotion constitute a magnetic force which attracts other similar or related thoughts. Okay? So when you actually like feel, right? They say that the feeling is the secret. I think it was Neville Goddard that said it, right? When you mix emotions with your thoughts, right, they actually constitute a magnetic force. Now, what does that mean, right? Well, he says that a thought thus magnetized with emotion may be compared to a seed when planted in fertile soil, right? It germinates, grows, and multiplies itself over and over again until that which was originally one small seed becomes countless millions of seed of the same kind. Okay, so what am I essentially saying here, right? I'm saying it's not gonna work for you to repeat the thoughts over and over again unless you mix that feeling with it, right? That feeling of faith, okay? That feeling of love with it, right? If you just say, hey, yeah, day by day, in every way, I'm getting better and better, right? If you just say it bland like that and don't actually mix emotions with it, and right, what are emotions, right? Emotions are energy and motion, right? We talk about constantly how a burning desire is a state of mind, faith is a state of mind, persistence is a state of mind, right? We talk about states of mind, right? Emotions are essentially not the same as a state of mind, but when you get emotional about something, you develop a state of mind, right? You have to understand that, like, if you think about a state of mind like chemistry, like a homogeneous or etc. state, right? It is literally a different type of chemical framework when you develop a state of mind, right? So you can develop a state of mind much easier to the part where you believe it when you do mix the emotions with the thing that you are repeating, right? Am I making sense when I say this? So, okay. So it's going to get pretty deep here. Okay. I'm gonna basically what I just said is essentially, the two big things, right? There's a lot of paragraphs here which are great, but it's two things. It's constant spaced repetition, right? And in terms of the conversation of how to develop faith, it's constant spaced repetition, and you gotta mix feeling with it, right? Those are the two takeaways that I really want you to get, especially for this chapter on how to develop faith, right? Everything else that I could be reading is essentially a bunch of good stuff, but those are the two key topics of this video, and that's really all you need to know, right? I could keep reading, but it makes sense to just wrap it up there. So I hope I was able to get this point across well to you, and that you can, maybe it's not going to make sense right now, right away, right? You're going to watch this video, life's going to pass on, but I just hope that you can understand that, hey man, let me just keep thinking about the goal, and over time I'm going to start believing it, right? You can look back in your life, and if you are on this path of really, following the book Think and Grow Rich, you know just see how much more you believe in it now than you did before, if you actually did follow through on the principles. So thank you all so much for watching. That's the conversation today. That faith is a state of mind which may be induced by auto suggestion. So I'm gonna wrap it up there, and I'll see you all tomorrow. So until we meet again in time and space, bye everybody for now.